So from now and to the end of video, I'm talking about maybe the best part of this video is advanced topic for dry start. So first one, it's called soil conditioning. What's that mean? Okay, so the first thing is I always using organic garden soil. I do not use aquarium substrate to grow it. The reason is very simple because the cost. So if you look at my other videos on the YouTube, I've done many comparison between, let's say, ADA ammonia soil with organic, cheap organic garden soil you can get from Bunnings. Uh, Generally speaking, ADA soil has a slight edge over cheap organic garden soil in terms of growing speed and the healthy of the growth. But when you think about the price, there's almost no comparison, right? You can pay like $10 to get 20 liters of garden soil, compare with, I don't know, $30, $40 to get 9 liters of 80 soil. And at the end, uh, the organic garden soil there's very bare minimum difference between these two soils. Again, if you want to know the differences, watch my other videos. So that's why I always use organic garden soil. So talking about organic garden soil, we need to talk about nitrogen, right? Nitrogen as part of NPK. Most people, I think you already know what NPK means. Nitrogen is the most important nutrition for plants to grow. When you're using organic garden soil, the nitrogen normally in the natural environment has three forms. They have organic nitrogen in the soil. They have ammonia and nitrate, as what you see on this diagram. The problem with organic nitrogen is it releasing cycle or process is very slow compared with ammonia and nitrate. That's why when you get fertilizer into the plants, you know most of the time you always say they use only ammonia or nitrate as a form of nitrogen supply to the plant. Therefore, when you're using organic garden soil, it is important you supply enough nitrogen right at the beginning, right? So when you put a plant to soil, the soil will immediately can supply additional nitrogen to the plant growth to encourage its rooting, to encourage it stop sending out roots and those kind of things. Another important thing is rooting hormone, right? Um, a simple way to explain the relationship between nitrogen and rooting hormone is totally different chemicals in the plants. It's not part of NPK nutritions, but is crucial for plant growth. In one way, you can say nitrogen is to encourage plants to grow, but rooting hormone or hormone will tell plant where to grow and how to grow. Because we're talking about rooting hormone, that basically means we supply additional rooting hormone as part of soil conditioning to encourage plant to focus on grow roots. Why? Because you're doing dry start, the plant just being put into your fish tank or grow container. So their root hasn't settled into the soil yet. So you want think about different way to encourage the root growth, right? To settle down the root growth, then you have a faster growth in the late on stage of dry start. So again, when you're doing soil conditioning, think about nitrogen and supply additional nitrogen and the rooting hormone. So this is the soil conditioner I make myself. Basically, it contains rich nitrogen and root hormone, which I'm going to talk about next. So this is an example of a small scale dry start container. So I'm going to put Roku some of Monte Carlo into the grow container. So the first thing I do is I use the soil conditioner. You just gently spray the substrate or organic soil, garden soil you have, and then just pick a Monte Carlo. Yeah, just pick small things like that. Use a tweezer. It is almost must. You have a tweezer. Yeah. And then you just gently push them in. That's it. Next advanced topic, we're going to talk about foliar fading. Right. This is one of my favorite advanced topic. Why? Because most people just simply do not know about this. Okay, so what is foliar fading? So foliar fading, put a simple way, is to feed nutrition into the plant, not through its roots, but through its leaves. How? All the leaves, doesn't matter, is grow on land or floating on the surface of the water, they all have a thing called stomata. As you can see from this diagram, it's literally a tiny hole facilitated plant to exchange gas and water. So it's sucking CO2, and then it release oxygen into the air. It also release the moisture water into the air through the plants. Um, for a lot of people don't know, actually the nutritions can come in the plant through stomata. This is crucial when we're doing dry start. The reason is the roots has not been developed yet. We just put into the substrate or soil, right? The roots didn't work for the beginning, and that's where the stomata still work. Stomata will be able to still suck in the nutritions and the CO2 into the plant. And based on my research, uh, it is saying the young leaves doing better than the mature leaves, and also most of plants their stomata is located on the underneath side of leaves rather than on the top side of leaves. So what you can do is you can take advantage of this and feed nutrition through their foliar. So that's what we call the foliar feeding. The best time to do this is when the sunrise or on the time when you just turn the lights on at the beginning of a few hours. Because as days goes on, the stomata will start closing down. Foliar feeding. What that means is, um, assume this is the Monte Carlo you're trying to do dry start with. What that means is, when the sun rises or when you just turn the lights on, you just simply spray the nutritions, which you can use the soil conditioner with leaves from different angle. That's it. That's what you need to do once a day. The last advanced topic is CO2 injection. Okay, this may be nothing new for most of people doing CO2 injection into their high-tech town. A lot of people doing it, but why do we do that in a dry start? Exactly same reason why you're doing it in your tank. As you can see from this diagram, 79% plant nutrition is come from carbon. Or if I remember properly, someone saying the dry mass of plants, 60-70% of them are carbon, right? So without carbon, your plant will not grow. Full stop. How simple is that? In average, in your home environment or in the open space, you will have maybe around 400 ppm concentration for CO2. If you increase that, or that's what I do, increase to 1000 ppm, you will see significant growth compared with 400 ppm. The reason is you supply additional carbon to encourage the plant sucking the carbon through the stomata, which we just mentioned previously. Um, what I do at home is I using this kind of CO2 tank, which we all use for the fish tank. But if you have a large scale greenhouse, you can also use burner. So burner basically put alcohol or ethanol, those kind of fuel. They will burn the fuel and then release CO2. So in large scale, the burner is much more cost effective than using pressure CO2. I do that sometimes, but I don't do it always. It really depends on what plant grows, how big the plant grows, because you need to, if you decide to do this, you need to calculate how much CO2 you use in a daily basis and how much it will cost you and how much additional growth you get from doing this, whether it's cost effective to have supply additional CO2, right? But this definitely will speed up your dry start. That's no doubt, right? Doesn't matter you Google it, YouTube it, or through my own experience, they definitely helps grow your plants faster and healthier. So if you done all the three key elements properly, lights, moisture, temperature, you also plant them properly, or you also use those advanced techniques. You do CO2 injection, you do foliar feeding and soil conditioning. What kind of result you can expect from this kind of advanced dry start? So let me show you. So this is between 1 or 2 days growth when you do everything properly. This again, what you're seeing here is Monte Carlo as example. On the left, this is a photo I took on 18th of February. On the right, the 20th of February. So less than 2 days, but almost 2 days. So if you can focus on where the highlighted or where I have a red arrow points to, you can see this steam right between these two nodes. On 20th of February, definitely is longer. I would say at least 50% longer and thicker, right? So that means growth. That means your Monte Carlo or whatever plant you're trying to do dry start is growing. Or if you look at the second one, on 18th of February, there's really on the top of the plant you can see there's tiny leaves. You almost can't see it, but on 20th February it's definitely growing out. The two leaves there, right? If you're doing dry start at home, I highly recommend you take photo on daily basis from the same position, same distance, same angle. Once you during that few days, you can compare the photo one next to each other. That's how you can see the difference, right? You can see how fast your plant grows. That will indicate if everything's all right or if you need to adjust how you're managing them or how you're doing your dry start. Okay. Again, if you interested in anything I mentioned in this supercharge your dry start video, please look other videos in my YouTube channel. Things like compare the ADA soil with garden soil, or how to plant your plants properly at the beginning of a dry start. Or please leave a comments if you're interested or you want me to do another video cover the advanced topic individually. I'm more than happy to do that. All right, subscribe or leave a comments. Otherwise, I see you guys next time. All right, thank you much. Take care. Happy growth.